Hey, Melanie, great to see you.
Good to
Well,
see you, and Chee.
yeah. We are now week 7 of our Master UFO Action Plan 53 challenge series. That means we're week 7 into the quarter, really. Great to be here with you. We've got folks popping on from all over right now. And they already know what to do. Put in the chat where you're where you're tuning in from.
That's right. Hey, Sharon.
Yeah, from
Sharon's from North
Charlotte.
Carolina. We got Kimberly from Colorado. We got Penny, Lucky Penny from Pennsylvania. And who from Chautauqua? Oh, that's Jackie Blasco is on the line from Chautauqua, Wisconsin. Excellent. Oh, they're all pouring in now, Barbara and Tiffany.
And of course, we're going live on Facebook as well. So hello, everybody tuning in live from Facebook. Great to have you here as we start our week 7 session. And this week's session is something that is really important to both Melanie and myself. And we're going to be talking today about the importance of training, the GMTSS, what it is, and how to sell tickets. And I just got to say, Melanie is one of the best of the best, among the best of the best, when it comes to selling tickets and in turn developing leadership through that. So thanks for joining us here today, Melanie. There you have it. We are on week 7 now, and you can see, last week we did a phenomenal leaderboard recognition. It was like a mini local seminar, learning from all, a couple of top people on the year-to-date leaderboard worldwide. We're going to continue on next week with converting spending into earning, and which will be focused more on the IBV portion. So a little bit more about that towards the end of the session. Let's start off, Melanie, with some shout outs to to folks on the leaderboard. And if I could, I'd like to mention, do a special shout out to Mary Wu, Jessica Turner for for exposing the business plan, and also a huge shout out to He Hong, who has generated a lot of new BV sales, and also Natasha George for her personal sponsorships and being on the year-to-date leaderboard. If you'll notice the names that I just mentioned, there are our fellow Canadians that are on the leaderboard. So great job, everybody, representing Team Canada. Melanie, you got anybody you'd like to shout out?
Well, as the director of sales for the TLS weight loss division, of course, I'm going to pick out my TLS leaders and names here. So I just want to shout out to Beth Black, to Tina Rose for sponsorships, Julie Lynn Seidel, and I think it was for BV Created and Team M3 with Melissa and Gayleen also showing up on the leaderboard there for new PCs. And so just a huge shout out to our TLS family who's showing up consistently on the leaderboard. So everybody obviously on the leaderboard, big shout out to all of you guys. Thanks for continuing to show up and lead the way.
Yeah, it's really fun, like seeing all of that develop and especially seeing it update week by week. So it's still moving and people are still switching places, on there. But we want to start off today by talking about the GMTSS. And for all of our newer unfranchised owners and new partners, give you an understanding of what the GMTSS is. Well, first of all, it stands for Global Meeting, Training, and Seminar Systems. Like it is it is something that when JR when JR built this company, it was something that he was really adamant on from all of his years of experience in the industry, of making sure this thrives. And the reason for that is JR felt that, you know what, we need to have, instead of having little groups, having closed meetings, and everybody, you know, training and building their businesses differently. We wanted our whole training model to be systemized and standardized more like a franchise and make it accessible to everybody. Hence, he created the GMTSS, which, you know, comprises of different meetings that are set up, that is open and put out, you know, available to every unfranchised owner to be able to leverage, to learn from, and to experience. So whether it be unfranchised business presentations online, we've got the ones that are organized by our UBP coordinators worldwide. We've also got you know, in-person unfranchised business presentations that are starting to come back now. It's great seeing that, where you know, guests can attend, and unfranchised owners can bring their guests to these unfranchised business presentations, learn more about what to do on a day-to-day basis from experienced trainers and unfranchised owners through local seminars. We've got basic fives and new unfranchised owner trainings, which are also part of the GMTSS. Did my video just freeze there, Melanie?
It did.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you, it is when you're doing this day in, day out, the computer tends to say, "Oh, that's enough."
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
And you know, we also link that into from local seminars. We link into regional conventions, district conventions, which is a larger setting where we get to learn from different people, you know, in the area, and special people that fly in as keynote speakers. And we've also got the official division trainings, whether it be like Melanie, you're hitting up the TLS division. We've got you know, strong beauty and skincare division. We've got a very strong health and nutrition division. We've got web center divisions. We've got shop financial division. So all of these different specialties, you know, again, think of it as a university concept where people could, you know, go into the right channel and learn what they're interested in, and pick out the tools that they want to build their businesses with. So you know, it's a very cool, complex education system that you know, I believe, Melanie, you and I, we would not be where we are if it weren't for the GMTSS today. So that's a brief introduction to what it is. And one other thing that's not on here is the world conferences and the international conventions. So we call these the major events, folks. So we're building from event to event. But I want to do you know, maybe talk to Melanie a little bit about why, Melanie, why do you think it's important to attend these events?
Well, I think there's so many people on the line here. And so I'd love for you guys to chat in and just type in why you think it's important to attend our GMTSS events. You could use a word, you could use a sentence. They're amazing and I love it. Yes, that's good enough reason, isn't it? Thanks, Tiffany. Training from different leaders. Thanks, Carl. Support from Janice, synergy from Nancy, momentum from Renee, passion, knowledge is power, energy, recharged, feeds my soul.
I like that Jackie Blasco mentioned leverage.
Yes.
Yeah, that differentiates a field vice president from you know, from yeah. So
I love these answers pouring in. They're all exactly why. You know, not a wrong answer on the chat here, but I actually created a little acronym, Andrew, called BELLS, because isn't that a saying like, hey, I'm going to be there with the bells on, right? And so the first bell or the first B in BELLS is building belief. And the reason that we build belief, because it's like, well, when you tell someone like, oh, you need to build belief and that's what you get at the event. Well, how, right? Well, we're building belief because we're getting experience. And that experience is the positive atmosphere. It's the team, it's the bonding, it's the celebration, it's those aha moments that you can't get anywhere else. How many of you have ever had a team member that you has struggled with something and you've trained them or mentored them or told them a million times, right? And then all of a sudden they go to the Andrew Chee local seminar and they get it. They just have like that aha moment. And you're like, I've only been trying to train this for you for like a year. And Andrew was the magic person that made them have that aha moment. And then you've got L, which is learn. This is where we're really expanding our knowledge. Now, depending on the seminar, on our business, on our products, on our services, on the how to build the business, you name it. And the second L is leverage. We want to leverage the system to train and duplicate with our team. Third-party credibility is everything. 7 different ways from 7 different people, you guys. And the whole point of leverage is 5 hours of your time if you attend, Andrew. But if you have 5 people who are attending, you've got 5 hours times 5 people. That's 25 hours. So you put in your 5 hours, and that's your 2 to 3 year plan, or your 45-year plan hours, I guess you could say. But when you've got people with you and you got, like, let's say 5 team members at a local seminar or a regional, now you've got 25 hours of training on your team that you didn't have to do, that's completely leveraged, that works towards that 2 to 3 year plan. Why you would not, and this was actually something that really blew my mind, because I love training. I think I'm I love to train. I love to teach. And I think there's a lot of teachers in Market America. I think we do education the best in Market America, aside from our products, of course, and our business plan. So we do a lot right, don't we, Andrew? We do a lot right in this business. And so, but this really blew me away, the third-party credibility and things, and just really utilize it where you don't have to be everything. Right? What a relief to leverage the system and not have to know everything and not have to, be the person. Every person on your team learns from you, right? Like it takes the responsibility a little bit off, as long as you're plugging into the system, because it's a daunting thing sometimes for some people. And I love to train. So truly, the last thing is the S, system to success. Just like any educational system, we want to learn from the experts, the people who've done it. And if you're going to master anything, right? If you're going to, master karate, right, Andrew? Can you master it in one lesson?
Nope.
No, absolutely not. Mastery will take years. And thankfully, what happens here is you're going to learn as you earn and earn as you learn. So instead of doing 6 years of education or 4 years of education or 8 years of education to then go and make money, you're earning as you learn and learning as you earn through the system to success. So I love being at our events with bells on, because it reminds me of what we're achieving when we're on.
I love it. And, at this point, I'd like to do a quick shout out to all of our speakers, bureau members and trainers, because, one of the things I love about the system is that it's not just putting anybody up there to train, in front of the room. We've got the GMTSS has an entire vetting model where it's very good at identifying the most qualified trainers, and that's why we have a speakers bureau system. And for the new franchise owner, we can attend these trainings with our with our minds at ease, because we know what the information that we're getting is current. It's from people that are building, and we're building belief along the way. For our older unfranchised owners or our more seasoned unfranchised owners, it also puts our our mind at ease because you're leveraging a system that is always, upgrading itself and keeping itself up to date. So it's just beautiful that we are able to take advantage of that. Let's talk a little bit, Mel, about building event to event. I know you're huge at this, and
Well, I think every leader in Market America who, they had to. You don't build a team unless you build event to event. And so if you are on the line and you're a newer unfranchised owner, this is what we do. All right. So first thing we do is we open up our calendar as a new unfranchised owner, and we're going to help that new unfranchised owner put those big rocks into your calendar. That means international convention, world conference, your regionals, your locals, anything that's already on the calendar, that's going in the calendar first. You're putting in those big rocks. You're telling all your team, you're telling your new unfranchised owners as they come that's what goes. I don't bring somebody on board, Andrew, that doesn't agree to attending the big rocks.
Wait a minute. So you're saying if, let's say I'm a new franchise owner and I've got, somebody that I'm trying to show the plan to, who's been putting it off for a while, but they've agreed to see the plan on the same day where international convention is happening. Let's say on August the 12th, they've agreed to see the plan. You're saying I should attend this instead of show the plan to that person that's been avoiding me for it's been tough, like getting that scheduled.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure you can figure it out. There's always a lunch break. There's early in the morning. There's after. I'm sure you can fit in a show in the plan the same time as, or at least on the same day. It might be a real long day for you, but truly, to me, I know that if I'm bringing on a team member, Andrew, that I have a certain responsibility to helping them succeed. And I know that if they have goals and they're big, that, those events are a must for them to achieve their goals. And that's the conversation I have. I don't just tell them what they have to do or they should do. I'm saying, look, in order to achieve your goals, Andrew, this is our system to success. So in between those big rocks, we have the little rocks, and those are the ones we're engaging with our team on a weekly basis, where we're sharing the business plan, where we're doing wellness events, TLS overviews, motives, beauty parties, you name it, right? We're doing all of those weekly appointments in between, where we're inviting into home or Zoom events to build into the bigger ones. All the little ones build into the bigger ones. It's like, the games you played as a kid where, the leapfrog. So it literally is leapfrog, and you want a train of people behind you leaping forward into the next event. And this is where it's these events, it's the home events, it's the Zoom events, it's the weekly events. These are the appointments where you're really touching people and you're having that conversation, and you have or the meeting after the meeting. This is where you're selling tickets, you guys. This is where you're telling them this is the next step. You need to take time to get to the regional, right, Andrew? The world conference coming up, or the international convention. It's those events where we're selling tickets.
And that makes a lot of sense now. So this is what what you call building event to event, is that we're selling tickets from at all of these little events to get to the next one, and ultimately to get everybody to the big rocks, as you call it.
Exactly. So when you hear people, and this is for all the new unfranchised owners, if you hear people on Zooms or on stage saying, plug into the system, right? And you're like, what does that mean? This is what it means. This is what it means. It means you're doing all the little weekly meetings to sell tickets into the bigger events. All right. That's what they mean by that.
Right. So tickets are pretty important. Before we get into talking about how to sell tickets, I actually got this tip from you, Melanie, when on one of our discussions. I don't know where we got it from, but I thought it was brilliant, that you said if we keep putting our new people in front of other people, that's how you're on the right track. And, nothing could be further from the truth. I have personally experienced so many times what you mentioned earlier, when you talked about when you're teaching a new partner, something specific, or the importance of attending events, or the importance of, how to use the evaluation approach, or you be teaching, and then at the end of the day they're hearing it from somebody else, and they go, oh, now I know, now I understand, why didn't you tell me about this?
I know, isn't that funny?
Yeah,
They're like, it's like they've never heard it before, but but that's the way the human mind works. It's through
right.
repetition. It's like layer upon layer upon layer, and they wouldn't get it if you hadn't done it. So don't
Right.
don't discount how important it is to do team corings or trainings and things like that, because it is
Right.
about layering on top of layering. But definitely don't be upset when they're like, they give somebody else credit for it.
Yeah, I've learned, to be super happy with it, because, at least we're progressing. Like that is, that's
Exactly.
key. So, for all of our, sometimes we need, we need a checkup for all of our seasoned and franchise owners. Let's do a quick mental check to see, hey, in the past 6 months, have I been putting all of my new people, or my team in front of other people? Meaning, have I been putting them in front of, in local seminars where they learn from trainers other than myself? Have I been putting, people into the, instead of me showing the plan all the time, if we've been utilizing the UBPs, that's been organized by coordinators all around, and the more that we have been doing this, the more comfortable we feel that the system is working, rather than us being the issue. So thank you for that pro tip,
Yeah,
Melanie.
so really quickly here, I think what you just asked them was really important, because I think it's so
Right.
important that if you have those live GMTSS events coming back into your area, it couldn't be more important than you to make the effort to be there. The second thing that I think this brought up too is, a lot of times this is the best tip for selling a ticket. If you've got someone on the fence and you've done your best to sell a ticket to the upcoming event, like our international convention here with our 30th, and you've done everything you know to do to sell a ticket or move the ticket, you
Right.
need to put them on the phone with someone else or on a Zoom with someone else. Use that third party credibility to, move that ticket. And because it can't necessarily always come from you as their leader or as their sponsoring business partner, right, Andrew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And funny you mentioned the 45-minute drives, and I remember those days. It's like it was yesterday. But here's what I do recall from it. The hardest part is convincing yourself to get there. And making the trip. That's the hard part, folks. The easy part is actually being at the event and experiencing it, and leveraging it. So keep that in mind the next time you see a GMTSS in-person event around the corner. Keep that in mind. The hardest part is getting there. Once you get there, you're gonna be glad you did, and you're gonna be glad you got your people there as well. Melanie, let's talk real quick about how to sell tickets, because like you said, no big earner in the company ever made it big without being good at learning how to sell tickets. Okay, got it. Is that Rocket?
No, actually, I wanted a visual, so I needed to get my visual. It was right underneath me.
Oh, okay, got it. There
Okay,
it is.
there it is. All right, you guys. First thing you're doing when you're having a meeting, let's say you've shown the business plan, right? You've shown somebody the business plan. Maybe it's the second time. Maybe they attended the UBP, and you're having that follow-up Zoom or that follow-up conversation, or you're sitting right next to them. Doesn't really matter. What you want to do is you want to slide this sucker across the table to them, right? I always say,
Mhm.
slide the ticket,
Uh-huh.
right? Everybody do that with me. Slide the ticket, right? And if you're on a Zoom, you're gonna slide the ticket. All right. So either way, you guys, that's your first step. Slide the ticket. All right.
Mhm.
And you say, and you tap on it. It's really important that you tap on it.
Right.
Okay. This is really like, it's super important. You
Right.
tap on it and you're going to say, let's say I'm in a meeting with Andrew. See how
Mhm.
locked in he is? Like Andrew, like he knows what I'm doing and he's like super locked into this. so, so I have
That's
this and I'm,
I've got to pick that. I haven't been doing the tap. So
it's
that's
like,
one of my
I'm
big
telling
things.
you, this is
Mhm.
Andrew, this is your next step.
I love it.
Okay. That's your first, that's how you create, that's how you first do it. So you're like, because people want to know, they need to know what's the next step.
Right.
This is your next step. So you slide the ticket
Uh,
and you go tap on it and you go, this is your next step, Andrew.
okay.
And number two is explain to them why it's their next step, which
Mm.
we just covered, right? With the bells. You could even use the bells. Well,
Right.
we in Market America attend with bells on because it builds belief, because it creates an experience that you can't get anywhere else. It creates a leverage in our system so that you can create a team without having to know everything. It
Mhm.
creates, you know, the learning experience or learning the knowledge you need to master this. And then this is our system to success. This is what we're
Right.
doing. So you can use bells or you can use what you think they're going to be most excited about. Maybe it's all the socialization. Maybe it's, you know, what it's all the training. It's meeting the corporate team, whatever it is. You need to
Right.
explain why it's important. Not that they have to go, not that they should go, not that you need to be their boss. You're selling this, you guys. This is the
Right.
only thing I sell in the business. I don't sell our products, I educate on them. I don't sell our business, I educate on the business. I'm looking for people who are looking for this, right?
Right.
This
Mm.
is the thing I'm selling. All
Okay,
right. And I'm
let me do this. Let me do this real quick. I think, this would be a good time for us to give everybody an opportunity to take a screenshot of that of those bells that you mentioned. So we'll go back here real
sure.
quick. And this is your opportunity, folks. Take a screenshot. I'm going to do that myself. A screenshot of the bell. I don't know why I'm doing it because I have the slides.
You
I'm
have
like,
the slides.
but it's more of leading by example, Melanie. But great that you mentioned that we can use this definitely going into the international convention. Okay, sorry to
All
cut
right.
you off.
That's okay. All good. And Thomas was ahead of you. He had already gotten the screenshot. So way to go, Thomas. All right. So you're sliding the ticket, you tap
Yep.
it and you say, this is your next step. And then you explain why. You get
Mhm.
excited, you share with your heart, you know, all those things. And then this is the most important thing. You don't say, so are you interested? You know, like don't say that. Oh my gosh, don't say that. What you do say is cash or check. And if you're old school like me, or because I'm old, you guys, but if you're in the 21st century, it's Venmo or PayPal, right?
Right.
Or any of those cash apps, right? So I've got a couple of them. Yes, I do use them, but you need to ask for payment. Now, obviously, somebody's not making like a $30, a $70, an $80. I mean, that's something you can typically sell within one of these conversations. Now, obviously, a whole weekend or 4 or 5 days away, you might not be collecting that payment right away. They need to confer with their spouse. And you might need to be their travel agent a little bit and like help them arrange. One of the things that's so important here is that when you do ask for payment, that you don't say anything after until they either ask a question, or this is what often happens, especially with ladies. There's kind of this little bit of a moment there, and then they're like, oh yeah. And then they go grab their like cash or their checkbook, or they grab their phone so they can pay you. It works every time. Is, you know, when you sell the ticket, I mean, you have to ask for the payment. One of the biggest mistakes I see in the field is people don't sell the ticket. They wait for somebody to want to buy it. And I'm like, oh, that's not how this works.
Right.
You've got to collect that payment. And so that last closing statement is as simple as cash or check, Andrew.
Right. And Melanie, another thing that I noticed that works a lot of times is if you've been to an event before in the past, share your story, share your experience, speak from your own experience, talk about what the event did for you, and sometimes that is what helps people relate. Like when it comes to explaining why you feel they should attend the event. Sometimes it could be the same reason why you were attending an event. At first, I was evaluating the business. I thought it was cool, didn't think much of it, but after attending the first event, it blew my mind. I realized that what I thought I knew about Market America was probably about 1% of the entire big picture. And after attending that first event, that's when I got the knowledge, I got the confidence, and that's when I made the decision that, hey, this is something worthwhile and what I want to devote my life into doing. And that's how powerful an event can be. And I really love for you to experience that yourself as well. So I love that. Thanks for breaking it down. I'm going to add in the tap the ticket, because that's really a nice touch there. You could tell you're very seasoned, you're very experienced at this.
I've been selling my whole life, Andrew, but this isn't something you should dread or avoid, because if you've ever been to any of our events, you know how important they are. All you need, really at the end of the day, speaking from experience, like Andrew Chee said, using the bells, there's no way you can't sell a ticket, especially if you're closing it, right? Where you're asking for payment, you're asking for the commitment. Again, asking if people are interested. You're not looking for interested, you're looking for committed. Right. And so there's a big difference. If you ask for the sale, what happens is you'll get questions and then you can handle those. But you're moving people forward, versus if you say something like, well, are you interested in attending? What I'm going to get back from Andrew is all the reasons why he couldn't go, which we all have tons of reasons why we couldn't go. Yeah. That's not where you want the conversation to go.
Right. It's it's heading down the wrong path when you get the I'll think about it.
Exactly.
But speaking of commitment, Melanie, we've got a special shout out to a group that is committed to leverage this next event.
For sure. I'm so excited for this team. I wanted to just do a quick shout out because, I was in the Mideast regional that was just 2 weekends ago. And it was their first live regional back in action. And it was amazing. It was so great. I know there were some people who were there on the line. And of course, Drayton Hodo and a good chunk of his team from Philadelphia was there. Now they made a goal. Drayton and his leaders made a goal of their whole team moving 600 tickets to the upcoming MAIC. They've already sold 370. Now, they're most likely going to hit 600, if not over. But even if they don't, do you think they'll be disappointed? No. I also fully expect that if they hit this goal or even exceed it or even come close to it, that in the next 6 months, you're going to see some pin levels come out of this team. Because they're building event to event. They're doing such a phenomenal job. There's only way that they can move 370 tickets is if they're doing all the little rocks in between the big rocks.
Right.
I know when I talked to Drayton about the regional, I don't know, I think it was like almost a month or two before. And he's like, I was talking about travel arrangements. He's like, oh, we haven't even started talking about that. We're still selling tickets. And I'm like, of course you are. Like, just, get her done. Right. That's exactly what you should be focused on. So something that came out of the Mideast that was just posted on the Mideast Facebook page. And I want to shout out to Jessica, because I actually met her and her guest at the TLS booth really, really briefly, because it was crazy. The Passport to BV event on Saturday was crazy. But Jessica brought a guest to the regional, and Kenneth became a partner just a couple days ago. So what if Jessica had not moved that ticket, had not sold that ticket to Kenneth, thinking, oh, well, he's probably busy, or, oh, what if he says no, or what if he bucks back and he doesn't want to do the business because he's got to buy an $80 ticket and he's got to take a weekend off, and all the things that you tell yourself when you're scared to sell a ticket. And Jessica most likely went through those same things where we're like, oh, like, what if, oh, right? And then didn't actually ask him to come. What had happened? And he wouldn't become a partner, you guys. This is this is building event to event. This is why it's so important, you guys.
Right. And it's getting, and Kenneth is getting started the right way, with belief. He's going to hit the ground running, like, with his business. And glad you brought this up. Selling tickets to as many people as we can to the international convention. I want to share a quick tool with everybody. If you've got, let's say, some partners that may have been dormant for a while and they need a reminder. This upcoming international convention is going to be an event like none other. I know we say that a lot, but Melanie, you and I are both on several of the planning meetings going into it. That we've never seen anything like this before. So here's a video that you can use to share with your partners, to share with your guests, like, as you're explaining the event, to give them an idea of what to expect. So Melanie, you and I, we're going to turn our videos off just for a minute or so, but I hope everyone can enjoy this cool little tool that you can find directly on Market America's YouTube channel. Here we go.
You are here at a special moment, all because we're connected.
Progress equals happiness.
You are positioned more than ever before to grow your business faster.
The tide is turning.
We can take back the economy.
We are going to pull out every stop.
All the elements have come together to do something that can change the world.
Let me welcome you into a world of endless possibility.
Star power.
You'll feel things that you've never felt before.
You have to become the change you want to see.
It's magic. It is going to be an event like no other that we've ever put on.
We need to get back together. We need to have fun.
Build your business anywhere.
After 30 years, we're proud of our brand, proud of what we do.
The best-in-class products in billion-dollar industries.
The only time is now.
And when you know what your why is, nothing can stop you.
We focus on you. The fastest way to success is getting to the event and getting other people to the event. This is going to be an extravaganza. You won't forget.
Woo. Powerful. I hope you enjoy that. And as we're leading up to the event, we may get some objections from time to time, whether it be whether it be I don't have the time, like, to attend the event. It's gonna take 3 days, like 3 or 4 days of travel. I don't have the time to do it. I don't have the money to do it. There's additional incurred costs when it comes to traveling to the event, or just the fear of the unknown. So these are some of the common objections that come up. And really, we as unfranchised owners, you work with your team to help your newer partners and your guests, like, overcome these objections. So what's your favorite one, Melanie, for when somebody says, I don't have the time, like, to attend?
Yeah, well, that's exactly how I felt, Andrew, is that I just didn't have enough time. And I wanted my time back. I wanted the best hours of my day and the best days of the week back. And that's why I did this business, was to free up my time. So did I have to give some time and create some spaces in my calendar to have that happen? Absolutely. It just depends on how important that goal is to you, Andrew.
Just like what Lauren said in the video, when you know your why, nothing can stop you.
So I
love
just I flipped this script on them a little bit on the time thing, because you know, it is the reason to do the business, not the reason not to.
Got it. But really, we have here understanding the industry, and just looking at the industry of events, like you know, to start off with, the price of, let's say, our ticket to our biggest event, the international convention event, is $200. But Melanie, you've also dabbled, and you've been a professional in you know, the event industry for a little while. Where's that stand in terms of like price to value that you get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to ask everybody on the line if you've ever been to a professional seminar or conference where you were learning a skill, or you know, a multi-speaker event. So I've been speaking on stages all over North America and the world, and I actually started doing that before I found Market America. And I remember I bought a package. Yeah, they get pricey, Carl. They get real pricey. The first course that I bought was $2,000. And that was how many years ago? Like that was 20 plus years ago. From stage, Andrew, I have sold packages of seminars and courses and conferences that are like $12, $15, $20,000 packages of, you know, 5 to 6, sometimes even just 3 seminars or courses that were designed to give you a skill set or information. But truly, like a 3-day event, average price in the seminar industry is truly, you know, prior to COVID, thousands of dollars. And so our price of $200 is literally designed, and this is the GMTSS design. Literally, the design was to just cover the cost, meaning we're self-liquidating. We're self-liquidating these seminars. The company isn't making buku bucks off of this. The local seminar people, the UBPs, nobody's making money. We're covering costs. That's why the ticket prices are so low. And so if you've not been in the industry, or your prospect doesn't understand that outside of Market America, these ticket prices are far more expensive, they might think this is a lot of money, but it really isn't. It is peanuts compared to what you would pay outside.
Right. And, you know, I love this one that we have on here, the fear of the unknown, you know, when attending these events. And, you know, there's other factors like that come into it. It's you know, getting out of our comfort zone. We may be traveling to a foreign state of, you know, a foreign city of Greensboro, North Carolina. Don't know what to expect there. And, you know, how are we going to handle accommodation and all of that? Here's what I tell, you know, my new partners. Look, you're not attending this event by yourself, and you're not the only person attending for the first time. We're going to do this together, and there'll be other people, they'll be having this experience for the first time together with you. So it's going to be one for the books, something that, you know, can potentially be life-changing, but don't worry. We're going to assist in the planning and make sure that you're taken care of the entire way. So just letting them know that they're not, it may be an unknown, but it's exciting because they're not doing it alone. You know, we're doing it together.
Absolutely. You know, the more you can assist, I always, you know, really I'm hands-on with my new, you know, people. Like, you know, they're like, it's like, you know, you're caring for a baby the entire time. And then they need to duplicate that, right? And so that's the process, you guys. It works if you work it.
Got it. All right. So, in wrapping up, I'd just like to share with everybody. Now's the time for us to get up and do the work to get to build our businesses, to get to the next level. But oftentimes we stress ourselves out like unnecessarily. And when we approach our tasks, like the things that we need to do, like selling tickets and showing the plan and doing and building the business. Oftentimes we approach it with, oh, I got to do this, I've got to do that, I got to do the work. Or if I'm, Melanie, if I'm in TLS and I approach it with, oh, I got to exercise, I got to lose weight, or I've got to build my business. What we're doing is we're taking all of our blessings and we're wrapping it up in stress. But all we've got to do is to change one letter from these statements and change the O in got to get. And when we approach it with the perspective of, I get to do that, to do work, I get to exercise, I get to build my business, I get to bless people with what we have, to offer in our company. It propels us to move forward in the right way. So folks, we get to do what we're doing, and we get to enjoy it along the way.
For sure. It's, I feel like it's a switch from being Eeyore, like, oh, I've got to go show the plan, my tail fell off, right? Like you get to go from Eeyore to like Winnie the Pooh, right? Or it's a mindset, you guys. I also think that you go from what I consider a victim mentality to an empowered, I'm making a choice, I'm in control of my life, I create the outcome kind of mentality. And so that shift is everything. It's literally everything, which is why we're ending with that, because it couldn't be more true. I do want to say really quickly before we wrap up, I want to mirror what Andrew said here with us. We're getting to be privy to the planning meetings, which is, I don't think has ever happened in the history of Market America, for the 30th anniversary, because Lauren and Mark and JR are so committed to making this the most spectacular event that everything is going to feel different. There's going to be a buzz when you land into Greensboro, when you drive in. There's going to be excitement and entertainment. It's a party. 30 years anniversary, guys. It's going to be a party. But it's also just right down to the meat and potatoes of the content and the what we're doing at the booths. I mean, everything is going to be on fire. I'm so excited, you guys. I could not be more excited to see you. Please, please, please come up and say hello. I always want to meet you guys. So don't ever feel like, even if I'm walking fast, walk fast with me and introduce yourself. All right. I definitely want to meet you guys. So thank you so much, Andrew. You're the best. Thank you for all your hard work. And I love working with you. You guys don't miss next week's. We've got Lisa Martin and Dr. T on week 8, talking about converting your spending into earning with IBV. Actually, TLS just added some IBV products. You guys got to check them out. So we're expanding the shopping annuity with TLS as well. So check it out.
Right. We've got to get those into Canada. Thanks, Melanie. And, thank you everybody for tuning in this week and this series, continuing with us during this series. Let's make the best outcome out of the 53 challenge, the master, and continue to follow the Master UFO action plan. We will see you guys next week. And if we don't speak to you from now till the event, I look forward to seeing everybody at the international convention. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Melanie. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.